So what is up with these twin wyverns in the logo? What do they represent? And how is this related to the fact that the character in the trailer is carrying a gun in a sack? So I told you already, the number 2 is the most important thematic element to Monster Hunter Wilds. One of the biggest new changes to the series is how you'll be able to bring 2 different weapons with you. One melee, one ranged. Now, the ranged weapons, the bow guns, will have a very long range ammo option, like a sniper ammo option built into them. You know how the bow guns from Rise and World have an inherent ammo that's built into them? Well, in Wilds, you're getting that too, and it's sniper ammo. All right, look at the gun. You will see a massive scope attached to it. That scope is clipping through the bag a little bit, so it kind of pops out of the sack. All right, that's the type of scope you're going to need for your snipe ammo. And you will be able to fire this ammo at monsters approaching from a very long range. The advantage of having this one big map and having these broad open spaces is that you will be able to see monsters coming from a very long distance away, and you'll be able to get some shots off at them from that distance. The other thing that the snipe ammo will allow you to do is to tag the monsters from long distance. We used to call it paintballs back in the day. You guys remember that? You'll be able to fire tracking ammo to hit the monster so you can keep track of where it's going. So the cool part about all this, being able to have one melee and one ranged weapon, is that you can switch between the 2 weapons and you can develop new strategies for engaging with the monsters. So from a very long distance, you can use your snipe ammo. As the monster gets closer to you, you can start using your other bowgun ammos. And then when it finally gets close enough to be able to hit it with your melee weapon, you can switch to that. Or, keep your bowgun in hand and use those close range attacks. Think of this weapon swapping as the next evolution of scroll swapping, right? In Rise, you had scroll swapping. You had one set of switch skills on one scroll, and you could, if you wanted to, put an entirely different set of switch skills on your second scroll. So you could switch between 2 very different playstyles for your weapon. Well, this is just the next logical step from that. It's like one scroll is one weapon and the other scroll is an entirely different weapon. You're also going to get combos that will start with one weapon and they'll end with the other. So you'll be able to synergize your weapons that way as well. All right, so why 2 weapons, right? Why not just take one weapon out and then when you want to trade, you just go back to camp and get the other weapon that you want? Well, the rationale for allowing 2 weapons, taking 2 with you as you go, is the fact that Wilds is basically what I talked about all those months ago in another video. Wilds is one big map. The idea that you can just go back to camp and get whatever you want, that's gone. There's no camp for you to go back to and change out your gear at will. You're not getting that anymore, okay? No, this is Monster Hunter Wilds. You're not going to have a team of palicos to carry all your stuff and set up a camp and airlift you in to that camp for every quest. That's not how this works anymore. You don't get that entourage cleaning up after you and preparing the way. You're on your own here. You're going out into the wilderness. You've got to pack in what you need to survive. And the further you get away from any particular village, the more dangerous it's going to be. And the more important it is going to be for you to have all the gear necessary, because it's a long way back to the village. Yeah, I know people are probably already complaining that there's no more camps and that there's no more infinite stockpile of potions and ammo and all that stuff. The reality is it's not really a bad thing, because what we're also getting along with this is that you can forage and craft almost everything that you are going to need along the way. So in that sense, a camp becomes kind of redundant. So if you still don't like that idea, that's fine. You can always go back to playing World if you prefer that style of play. One more thing that the twin wyverns represent, along with the 4 smaller ones, of course, on the circles, is they represent the final boss for the base game. This is one thing where I'm absolutely not going to spoil it for you, so don't even ask me to. All right, moving along, what is the map like? All right, so aside from the idea of one big map with different biomes and the concept of foraging for what you need, a lot of crafting and combining, you won't have the elaborate fully stocked camp. Yes, there will be villages scattered across the map. You will complete requests and quests for the villagers there, and you'll be able to upgrade the functionality that each village has for you, just like all previous Monster Hunter titles. So that doesn't go away. Oh, a side note, bug boxes make a big return to Monster Hunter. And this is in keeping with the idea of self-sufficiency and foraging. So you will be able to cultivate a lot of the items that you need. So honey and different types of bugs and stuff like that. No, you're not going to be sending your cats out to do the trading for you or just buying these things outright. We're going back to basics. All right. Self-sufficiency is what it's all about here. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of different biomes on this map, not just the desert one that you see in the trailer. You're going to find caves to explore. You know, you're going to see oases in the desert. A lot of cool, interesting geographical features to discover and explore. Some people ask the question though, if it's one big map, what about difficulty scaling? Right? If you're out in the wilderness, just like you're out on a constant expedition. In previous titles, they called them expeditions. You just go out on a map and wander around and monsters kind of pop in and out at will. World did this pretty well, right? In the guiding lands. And then even after you completed a quest, instead of going back to town, you could convert the quest directly to an expedition so you could stay out there on the map. And it just treated it like an expedition. That was pretty cool. But in these situations, how does the game know what difficulty to make the monsters? If you played World up to endgame, you know this isn't an issue, right? They're going to scale the monsters based on your progression through the game, just as they always have. In all previous games, you start in low rank, the monsters are low rank monsters. As you progress through the game and you get access to more quests, the monsters become high rank, G rank, they become more powerful. More powerful quests open up with even stronger versions of the monsters. For those of you who did play World through to endgame, you're very familiar with the guiding lands, right? And how the difficulty scaled there. I said this in a few previous videos, and I said this on the Hunters Hub podcast. The guiding lands was a prototype for this one big map concept. It's like a miniature version of where Capcom wanted to go with this game. All right, so Capcom has already tested a lot of this functionality. They've already solved the inherent problems that have come up. Yeah, the guiding lands, for those of you who don't know, the guiding lands was a pretty big map, not a huge map, like about the size of a large Monster Hunter map, a typical large Monster Hunter map, but it had all the different biomes in it, all mixed in one map. And it was pretty cool. Sometimes kind of annoying to navigate because it just wrapped around and looped around itself a bit much. But it was a refreshing change. The more you played on the guiding lands, the stronger the monsters became. And we're not talking about going from high rank to G rank, master rank. It was all master rank. It's just that they got tougher. Stronger monsters would come out the more you played in the guiding lands. So this is nothing new for Capcom, and it's nothing new for us either. We just played the prototype.